Hello friends, my name is Ankit Verma. Today we will start the topic private network. So what do you mean by the private networks? Example, we want to provide some private area in which we can access our own resources and provide the features to our own people. That is called the private network. That is secured from the outside. So here we have the two things about the private network. First one is it is for the inside organization, and secondly we have the inside people can access the resources. So to understand the private network, let us take the example of the diagram in which we have a particular area or the building. Now in this building we have the resources, just like for example the printer and the scanner. We provide the name as the resource 1 and the resource 2, R1 and R2. Here R stands for the resource. Now these resources are connected with a particular computer with the help of some LAN. We provide the name to this computer as the C. Here C stands for computer. Now this computer can access both the resources R1 and R2 and from outside people, that is secure. This is called the private network. That means the inside people can connect to all the resources, they can use the resource, the LAN, but outside people can't access those networks. So this is all about the private network. Now to understand the private network, so now we have the two more terms, that is the intranet and the extranet. So have a look on the intranet. The private network is also called the intranet. So say example, we have the inside of the building and also we have the outside of the building. The outside people can't use the net or the facilities of the inside. That is also called the private network or the intranet. But if I say the outside computer can access the inside resources with the help of administrator, that means under the control of administrator, this is called the extranet. So let's take the example. Suppose we have one more computer that is in the outside network. Now that's an outside computer want to access the inside network. So we have the administrator which will control the outside people. The administrator is at the main building entry. So this is called the A, and A stands for the administrator. Now the outside computer can access the internal resources with the control of administrator. Now you can see that the outside computer have the access to inside LAN. That means this is the extranet. But that is under the control of administrator. So we have the two things in market, that is the intranet and the extranet. So example, the outside people can't access the network, can't access inside the building. This is called the intranet or the private network. And if the outside people can access the inside LAN, that is called the extranet. You can see the example of the distance learning program. For example, you have the particular university and they have their own LAN. That own LAN can be accessed by the inside people. That inside people can access the resources as well as all the features of that LAN, and the outside people can't access. That is called the intranet or the private network. But in the distance learning program, the outside people, the authorized students can also access the inside database as well as the notes of the faculty of that particular department. Then that is the extranet. So these are the two things, intranet and the extranet. So the example of the extranet is the distance learning program, and the example of internet is our private network. So now how to provide the private network to our own system? So to provide the private network to our system, we need the addressing scheme. So we'll discuss about the addressing. The addressing is required for the particular private network. For example, we have some specific computers in a particular LAN inside the building. That building will be connected with some computers, and the computers need the IP address, and the IP address will be provided by the addressing scheme. So we require the addressing, and we have the three options by which we can provide the addressing to our computers. So the first type of addressing scheme is, so the first type in which we can apply the IP addresses which can be taken from the internet authorities. So in this technique we can take the IP addresses from all the internet authorities. For example, we have the internet authority which provide the IP address. We just purchase the IP addresses and all the settings from that particular internet authority. But we have few advantages as well as the disadvantages of this scheme. So first come to the focus on the advantages. So the main advantage of using the addressing scheme of internet authorities is in the future the organization can easily connect to the internet. because we have the previous setting installed that is provided by the internet authorities. So that's why in the future we can easily access those internet settings. But if we can't access those settings, that means there is a wastage. There is a wastage of IP addresses. So the next disadvantage we have is the wastage of IP address, or you can say the address space is wasted. Now the second technique. In the second technique, we are not going to take the IP addresses or the addressing scheme from the internet authorities. We take the addressing of our own self. That means I can provide any of the address as my own wish. There is no global IP, no internet authority. That means I can take some specific IPs and provide them. That means this is my own IPs, and I can provide any set of IP address and without registering with the internet authorities. Again, we have the few advantages and the disadvantages of using our own IP. So first we will focus on the advantages. So the main advantage is that the network is isolated and the addresses do not have to be unique. Now come to the disadvantages. Example, we are using our own IP address and they are not to be unique. That may be matched with the outside. So might be the inside user may confuse about those IP address. Yeah, you can provide your own IP address. That is the advantage. But what about the disadvantage? The user can be confused. So come to the disadvantage. So now the disadvantage is that the inside user might be mistakenly confused the inside IP address as the part of global internet. Now you can see that both the features, example, the first one, we have the internet authorities IP addressing, in which we have the disadvantage, and that means the address space is wasted. So that's why we are not going to use the first one. And in the second, we have the any sort of the IP addresses, but without the registration from the internet authorities. And the main problem is that the user may be confused. The inside user may confuse that this is the outside IP address. So secondly, we are not going to use the second one. Now we have the last option, that is the third one. And the third one will overcome all the problems of the above and have the features in which we have some specific addressing scheme which is reserved for the private network. So come to the third option. Now in the third option, the internet authorities have reserved some specific IP addresses, and that specific IP addresses can be used by any of the company or the building or the land, and that can be forwarded by any router. So the next one, we have the specific IPs which are reserved, the reserved set of IP addresses. So now we have the third type in which we have the reserved set of addresses. So now I am going to draw a table. These are the reserved addresses that we can use in any of the network to create that network as the private network. Now we have a table in which we have three columns. The first one is for the prefix, second one is for the addresses, and the last column is for the total number of addresses. So now we have the three categories in which we have divided the reserved IP addresses. So the first category in which we have the prefix as the 10/8, and we have the IP addresses that are starting from the 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255, and there are total number of addresses in the first class, that is 2 raised to power 24. Now we have the second class in which the IP range starting from the 17. Now we have the second range in which the IP address starting from 172.16/2, and the addresses range starting from 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255, and there are total number of 2 raised to power 20 addresses. Now we have the third range of addresses in which we have the prefix as the 192.168/16, and the addresses range from 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255, and we have the total number of addresses as the 2 raised to power 16. Now these are the reserved IP addresses. Now the main feature is that, for example, we have a router and the router find out these addresses as the destination address, then the router will not forward such type of packet outside the network. So that means our private network is safe. So main advantage is router will not forward such type of IP addresses. So these are the addressing scheme. That means the third one option is the best for us, and we are not going to use the first and the second options. So now we have the diagram of the private network. To understand the private network, we are going to create the two sites, site A and site B. Site A or site B may be any of the building, any of the land, any of the interconnecting devices that is inside the organization. So now in the site A, we are going to use the ring topology. So example, we are having a ring and that ring is connected with the multiple computers. Now these all computers are connected with that particular ring. So this is our ring topology, and we have some specific router that will deal with the inside network. So here we have the private network with the ring topology, and we have a router. Now we are providing the name R to the router. Now that ring topology is connected with the specific router. So this is all about the site A, in which we have a ring topology and a router for the outgoing packages. Now come to the site B. In the site B, we have the bus topology. That bus is connected with again the multiple computers. Now this is called the bus topology in the site B. Again we have one more router in the site B. Now the site B bus topology is connected with that specific router. So now we have the two sites A and B to contain different topologies and the two routers. And these two routers are connected with each other with a lease line. So here we have represented our private network of site A and site B, but the outside people can also access with the administrator permission. So here if the site A is using its inside resources, it's the private network or the intranet. If the outside people are using, that is the extranet. So that is all about the private network. Thank you.